Hello students, welcome to another edition of Careers 360's Institutional Spotlight Series. Today we are featuring the Sharda School of Business Studies. Joining us for this conversation is Dr. Debasis Mallik, Dean at Sharda School of Business Studies. A bit about Dr. Debasis. He holds a PhD in environmental economics with 30 years of experience in teaching, research, accreditation, academic leadership, and international collaborations. He views himself as a change agent. Dr. Mallik has extensively published in international peer reviewed journals. He also loves working on accreditation ranking, student learning experiences, curriculum management, and alumni engagement. Welcome on board, sir. Thank you for having us today, and thank you for coming on board to this interview with us.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
My first question is, this institution was established in 2009. So how has it fulfilled its vision of value-based education, innovation, and excellence for a sustainable society?
Good question. So, I'm sure you are aware that Sharda University is one of the first private universities in Uttar Pradesh. And in those days, of course, it was not easy, to build an university, and that too, brick by brick, without any legacy, earlier legacy of its own. The house started its journey in education sector from Agra, and then eventually came to Greater Noida, where we have our sprawling campus in Knowledge Park 3. And here we have several departments and schools. The few large schools are the medical school, of course, and engineering, technology, and of course the business school, which is also one of the largest schools. And we have actually completed 20 years of existence, and we have moved from strength to strength, including NIRF ranking at the university level, and a lot of accreditations. We are working on that, and we have tried to attract students at a national level, not be a school of UP as such. It is, we have students across the country, and not only that, unlike many other schools, we have a huge focus, or a lot of students come to us from the Northeast, which is many a times, you will not find so many Northeast students in good colleges, good business schools. We also have a diaspora of international students. Many of the students are from Africa. Close to 10 to 12% of our students are also from Africa. And faculty student ratio, we try to maintain 1 is to 20 faculty student ratio. So we have not, we have a bit shy about marketing and tom-tomming about ourselves, but over the years, we have only moved from strength to strength. We have focused on curriculum. We have focused on quality faculty. We have focused on quality placements, and we have been doing our job. What we should be doing for the betterment of our students, to enhance learning experience, to enhance their employability, to enhance their placements, internships, and not the least, knowledge, knowledge and wisdom that they take from us for the rest of their life.
Could you please explain the four core missions of the Sharda School of Business Studies?
So the four core missions. One mission is, of course, we really focus on a good, conducive learning environment. Now, when we say good, conducive learning environment, it means that a student should not be threatened while they are in the class. Learning should be fun, interesting, and they should be motivated from within. They should be encouraged from within to learn when they are here. In today's era, as you know, distractions are innumerable. So many distractions are there. Reels, if you notice, students, I mean, students, why students, even we, and many a times, we have the mobile in our hand and we just scroll like this. And everything that we watch is for maybe 2 seconds, and immediately we draw a conclusion, judgment in our mind. This is not worth saying. Move, 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 move. So this is the generation that we are dealing with. So creating a conducive learning environment is becoming tougher and tougher with every passing day, if not a month or year. So as we talk, I will also explain what we are doing to maintain that. But we do try at every level to create a good, create a good learning ecosystem. Next is, of course, through the through creating a good learning ecosystem, we also our vision is to create our mission is to create future leaders, future business leaders for the country, okay, who will not only work for themselves, for their families, for the dear ones, but also for the nation, for nation building. And that is how we inculcate a few courses, right from ethics or society connect, things like that, so that they are grounded and they understand what the real pulse of India is. The real pulse of India is not the 20-storied buildings. It is it is agriculture. It is the people at the grassroots level. So unless you understand what are the needs, what are the thought processes of the people at the grassroots level, you will never be able to win their hearts, and you can never become a good leader. A leader who is always flying, is not grounded, cannot sustain in the long run. So that is something we really, really focus on. And then our curriculum, because we, of course, we realize where we stand, and hence we do not claim that we are the top of the top business schools of the country. We are not the IIMs, we are not the SPJN or XLRI and so on. We come in the next layer. Okay, so when you come in the next layer, one thing which is very, very important is how do you how do you design your curriculum. Okay. Now, to design curriculum, it is very important for us that it is not theoretical. The moment it is theoretical, as I was saying, today's kids are swapping. So now, to retain the interest of the student in the class becomes very important if the classes are theoretical. So we try to, as far as possible, we try to make the classes application oriented. So that is one of our very big strength. And we always, whenever we have faculty meetings, we discuss, we explore new ideas. We try to ensure with our faculty and students that everything that we discuss in the class is application oriented. For that, we try to have a lot of role plays. We try to take students out of the campus to collect data, to talk to customers, to talk to people around, so that they learn the concepts in the practical way. And we also have a name for that. We call it reverse learning pedagogy. Okay. Reverse learning pedagogy is based on flipped classroom concept, where you don't teach theory in the class. What you do is you have a problem, you don't talk about that problem directly. For example, you are taking a class on, say, branding. Okay. Now, we don't discuss the theory of branding. We will tell the students, we'll have a set of 4 questions, and we will ask them, you get responses to these 4 questions about a particular brand, about its recall factor, why do people use this brand, or if they don't, then why they don't. Some questions, so they go to the market, they get the answers of those questions by collecting data. When they come back, they are already themselves, they have understood the practical aspects of branding. Now, when they come back, we collate the answers given by the students and bring the concepts of branding fit into the gaps. And that completes the class. So, in most schools, most business schools, they would have started the other way around, the traditional way, by teaching what is branding, what is brand recall, what is this and that. We do the other way around. So this is of course the third mission, and the fourth and the most important is, uh, we strongly believe that we as academicians are incomplete in imparting total 360 degree knowledge to students of MBA or BBA. Why? Because an MBA or a BBA program is about cracking the right job, is about placement, is about industry connect. So if we don't weave in our set of faculty, corporate leaders, corporate honchos, people from industry, learning is incomplete. So, industry academia connect is the fourth most important thing that we really believe is the change factor in today's generation, today's era for students. So, these are the four most important aspects we focus on, and that is how we try to position ourselves differently.
Very interesting, actually, and actually very well put, because this generation is like testing and challenging our own concepts, while we are actually figuring out ways to make things much more interesting and learning oriented. So I
Exactly,
think
exactly. Very rightly put. So, in fact, today we say that we used to earlier deal with students. Today we say they are not students, they are participants because they are supposed to participate in conversations in the class. So it is like equal level. And we open the doors of argument and we actually encourage argument in the class so that they learn through the arguments.
the School of Business, Sharda University, has different departments. So, if you could share a little bit about what the different departments, because people do not really know there can be different departments, and what are the key differentiators of these programs, that you offer.
Okay. So, of course, we have two kinds of programs, the undergrad and the postgrad programs. At undergrad level, we offer BCom and BBA. Okay. So, the BBA, as you know, has a 3-year track and a 4-year track as per NEP, government regulations, and so on. And we offer mostly, the general specializations all in BBA program, where we have marketing, we have finance, we have analytics, we have HR, we have healthcare, and so on. Okay. We also have BCom honors, and in both BPA and BCom, we also have a few collaborations. Like for example, we have BBA ACCA, so that if the students while doing BBA can also complete ACCA, that gives them an edge in the market to crack some of the best jobs, not only in India, even abroad.
Yeah.
So these kind of few things are there which we try to collaborate with corporates and help students to complete two things together, you know. So that is the undergrad part. And in the postgrad, we have MBA program where again the specializations are mostly the same. But at the same time, we also have a PhD program and we also have an executive MBA program. So executive MBA is mostly for working professionals as it is everywhere. And the PhD program is of course uh, uh, meant for I mean, it has two tracks. One is full-time PhD program coming through NET and so on, and then the part-time PhD program also as per UGC guidelines. So these are the programs that we offer.
So the next question is something that many students come back and ask. We all talk about the NIRF rankings and AACSP. Now, the institute has this, but what value would it add to a student's academic experience? So that's
Frankly speaking, in a world where options are many, it helps the student to differentiate between the good and the bad. Okay. So if there is an independent agency that ranks or rates a particular B school compared to many others, then it is an independent view that provides the student to judge whether to take it up or not to take it up. So from that perspective, when you say that, oh, Sharda University ranks 85, which means that it is in the top 100, why 100, even less than that, universities in the country, it it makes a lot of difference to understand that if there are, say, 5,000 universities in the country, it is in top 100, which is a huge differentiator. So it is from that perspective. But for me, to be very frank and open with you, what I believe is what Lord Krishna says: do your work, don't think about the results. So for me, what matters more is my objective is to give the best of the best quality to the students, not just education, but also their jobs. Because proof of the pudding is in the eating. If my students are not well placed, I have not done my job. So it is not about NIRF. It is not about the ranking. It is my own conscience. How am I able to serve my students? That is more important to me than any of the ranking or accreditation. But yes, your point is well taken. Accreditation and ranking both, they help to streamline systems and processes that any institution has. So it helps us in streamlining certain systems and processes, documentation. How do we analyze our students' overall outcome? How do we improve year on year? Okay, so these things are very good. I mean, I'm not trying to demean the ranking agencies or accreditation agencies at all. But what I feel is fundamentally my quality should speak. It should not be that I am working for ranking. I will be working for quality, and ranking and rating and accreditation is incidental.
Right. That's again interesting, because I think getting the accreditation is also not an easy joke. You need a lot of quality checks, and you have them in place. Then only you get to go there. So bottom line
So,
is, you get that accreditation, a certain quality is maintained, and then beyond that, whatever is offered is just the students.
absolutely,
Yeah. So
absolutely,
okay.
absolutely.
Right. So the next question is like, besides fulfilling the eligibility criteria, what additional qualities does the School of Business Sharda University seek in its students?
Okay, good question. Most important thing that we would like to seek in a student is uh, attitude. Attitude. Whether you have a learning attitude, whether you are learning aptitude. Okay. Now, uh, otherwise, what happens is you can only bring the horse to the water. How do you force the horse to drink water? So, getting to the students with all the knowledge, the wisdom, the application oriented practices, and all that is our job. But that is from the supply side. The demand has to meet the supply. If the demand doesn't meet the supply, we don't have an equilibrium. So, so from eligibility criteria, one thing that we really try to check when we interview our students is he having that will force in his mind? Yes, I want to prove things to myself. Most students of this age, uh, it sounds very surprising, but then the reality is that most students of that age have not proved anything to themselves yet.
Yes.
They have been in the rat race of class 10, class 12, engineering, uh, completing one after the other. But that is not about proving anything to themselves. It is about what family wanted, they did it, kind of thing, many a times. But here it is slightly different. Here it is very important to prove things to myself whether I'm capable of, because if I'm not able to prove that I'm capable of something, I don't gain confidence. And a person with poor confidence will not be able to establish himself or herself in life. Confidence is when that I can do. So we try to look in our students if they have that kind of a confidence. That is point number one. Point number two is we also try to look at the ethical dimension. What kind of a mindset does the person have? A person can be a go-getter, but is he going to go and get anything hook or crook in either in any way, any manner? Then we would we would be very cautious about such people. Communication takes a very important factor here also. By communication, I don't mean English language. uh, by communication, I mean if I have clarity of thoughts in my mind, I will be able to speak. Like, for example, we are talking. I did not have to prepare anything for my conversation because it is all there here. And I'm talking from my heart. So, if we have a clarity of thought, we will be good communicators anyway. Okay. So, we don't expect very high level of that because they are very, very young students. They may not have that kind of high level of clarity of thought, but at least some direction in life, what they want to achieve in life. Uh, at least they know the difference between yes and no, when to say no, when to say yes, what they really don't like, what they really like. These kind of things, some clarity of thought is very important because if they don't have that clarity of thought, then cannot communicate well also. So these are some things that we really check in our students when we interview. And I think for all good B schools, these things are very, very important. Last but not the least, though I mentioned it earlier, humility. Humility is such a important aspect. Arrogance is something that kills people. So gratitude, gratitude, gratefulness, gratefulness for everything. I mean, right from Mother Earth to parents to my teachers. Uh, how grateful am I to my friends? I mean, whoever I am, I'm not talking about myself. Whoever I am today is because of my environment. And if I talk about my environment, first and foremost comes my parents, my siblings, my relatives, my friends, best friends, my school, college, my teachers. How grateful I am to them. Now, if we come across a student who criticizes, oh, I had a horrible childhood. My parents never loved me. My teachers always hated me. Everything is negative, 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 negative. I have done everything on my own. Whatever I am today is because of myself. That is arrogance.
Right. And attitude, like you said, it always makes a difference. So one of the core missions you were talking about was the curriculum, partly. So what are the ongoing initiatives? Because this is a rapidly changing environment, this is a rapidly changing world. So what are the ongoing initiatives that the institution follows to keep the curriculum and pedagogy relevant to today's business scenario?
Yeah. So earlier we used to I mean, incorporate changes in our curriculum every 3 years. But since I joined, my first job was to change the curriculum and make it cutting edge as per the requirements of the current industry requirements and students requirement as of today, if we want to help them get the best jobs. So many courses that we introduced, which were not there, um, are supposed to bring some change. For example, we introduced a simulation, which was earlier not there. Now, a simulation is a simulated condition where students are actually exposed to something close to a real life situation. Okay. And as you know, in real life, you don't have a problem which is a finance problem or a HR problem or a marketing problem. When problem comes, it comes all together. And we all know, we are grown up, we know how problems come in our life. It is altogether, it is not a finance problem as such, or anything. So simulation creates that kind of an environment where a person has to think from the HR perspective, from the finance perspective, from the marketing perspective, from analytics, from this and that, all put together, and then think how best the company can perform. So we have incorporated simulations in our curriculum. We have incorporated certain cutting edge courses like design thinking, critical thinking, etiquette, entrepreneurial mindset, so on. So, but then most importantly, we have also changed the evaluation pedagogy. Uh, and we have made it very flexible and customized as per the course as it demands. For example, in a course like business communication, we have stopped taking end-term exams because communication will not be captured by an end-term exam. It is through talking, through presenting, through discussions, through role plays, and so on. So, group activities and so on. So, we have done that customization of courses. We have introduced new courses. And this is not one time thing. This we will keep on doing. And every year, twice, we have very high level academic council meetings, board of studies meeting, faculty board meetings, where we have corporate representatives. And we don't have just corporate representatives, they are the best, some of the best. So we have from, like, for example, we have one of the topmost HR executives from TCS. I'm just giving an example. We have in our academic council, we have, or in our BOS, we have faculty from SPGen, we have faculty from IMs, and so on. So they are some of the top people who can actually guide us how we should change and what direction we should move, uh, so that we can also raise ourselves, raise our bar someday to be like them. So these are some of the initiatives that we continuously take to change ourselves and to bring newness to not only the curriculum but also the entire learning experience.
One of the important things that everyone generally asks is the placement. So,
Yes.
if you could give us a snapshot of the recent placement outcomes, including sectors and compensation, would be great.
Yeah, sectors, more or less, we cover all sectors. And as I told you, one of the most important thing that we consider at our business school is placement. And like last few months, we had quite a few companies coming. Some of the names that I remember, Indigo had a drive sometime back. AU Small Finance Bank was there. Bajaj Capital, I think ICICI, Pru Life was there. RBL was there. RBL Bank, Seeds FinCap was there. Like that, lot of. Then I think there was a company called Millennium Packaging for supply chain and operations and so on. So a lot of good companies are coming for placement, and just very close on 18th we have a placement fair also lined up where close to 20 companies are participating, where we have SBI, we have Capgemini, Genpact, Bharti Airtel is there, RPL Bank again is coming. Then we have Bandhan Bank coming, Wipro is coming, TCS is coming. So we are fully on it. Around we have got confirmations from 20 companies that are coming on 18th, 19th. I mean, middle of this month, and we are having a placement fair, and we are hoping that by then all us. By the way, close to out of 300 students, already 220 students are placed. We now thought there are quite a few companies who want to come. So we thought, why not a placement mela kind of placement fair? So we are opening up to all students the placement fair, and this is for both BBA, MBA, BCom, all students, not just MBA students. But of course, the packages will be different and so on. But we are having this entire flow. Flipkart is also coming. Lenskart has recruited from us quite a few students actually. KPMG has recruited from us. So like that, I mean, all more or less all good names are there.
Right. So, in your opinion, why do companies emphasize the need for management graduates who can perform in a globalized world? Because nowadays, this is the key trend. You are global, you need the global skills, all such kind of terminology. So, yeah.
Yeah. So there are two sides of this. One thing is we really think that an MBA curriculum is incomplete unless we are able to offer our students global perspective. Okay. And in terms of global perspective, we already have very good collaborations. And after I joined, I established a partnership with the Michigan State University in the US. So, with many of our partner schools, including Michigan State university, we have two kinds of programs. One is we have an internship where students can go. Students went also last year. This year also students are going. Uh, and the internships could be of anything, as short as 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, and as long as full semester. Okay. So students can decide how long they want to go. For example, uh, another partnership which is there with us, it is University of Illinois, Chicago. They and also University of California, Davis. Their students can go for a slightly longish internship also. We also have a collaboration with Michigan State University where students can do a 1+1 program also. So they can do the first year of MBA with us and they can complete the second year of MS in management of certain stream, second year from there. And we will work with the university very closely to help the students to get the right internship and jobs over there.
One doubt that I have here, if I may ask, you're talking about 1 year here and 1 year there. So, who gives the degree? What kind of degree does it come with?
So it is
Is
a
it
dual.
mentioned that you've done? It's a
Yes, it
dual
is
thing.
dual.
Okay, so
It is dual.
okay.
It is dual degree. So if so, it is kind of a credit transfer system. So if they do the second year over there, then we
Mhm.
accept the credits that they get from there into our structure. Where if they complete, they get an MBA from us, and they get a MS in marketing, MS in HR, or whatever it is from there. Now there are two
Okay.
options. One is MS, and the other is MBA. As you know, in top B schools across the globe, you cannot join an MBA program without 3 years of work ex. So students who are already having 3 years of work ex can actually join in one of the foreign school for MBA if they're eligible. Okay, but if they're not eligible, then they have to do MS. And MS in management is similar to our MBA without experience. It's the same thing. Okay, so MS is not to be seen uh, as one notch lower. It is the same as our MBA.
Mhm.
Only thing is that in US and Europe, they segregate MS and MBA as MS can be done without experience and MBA can be done with minimum
Okay.
36 months of work experience. So that
Okay.
globalization part is one thing. And the other thing is MBA or management education gives a holistic perspective of real life situations. Okay, which an engineering degree cannot give, which a science degree cannot give many a times. Even today, much of engineering, much of science, BCom or whatever, is treated as a theoretical degree. Management gives the practical perspective where companies can directly recruit and they are job ready day one. So that is one of the most important reason why companies prefer recruiting from MBA than a normal undergrad program.
My next question is about one of the most trending things these days, AI. Now, AI tools, AI presence is like massive. It has become kind of essential only, so everyone is into using it. What are your thoughts about how should this work out? How is it incorporated?
Yeah, see, today we have AI, but if you go back, long back, the
Right.
same kind of a threat was there when a calculator was invented. At that time, people started thinking. I remember my parents used to tell me, if you use the calculator, then you will not be able to even tell me how to multiply one number with another. You will not be knowing how to do it. You will not be knowing how to add two numbers and so on. But then, we have to go with time and everything that comes on our way through technology enhancement. We have to embrace the change. And if we don't embrace change, we will fall behind. And that is certainly not good. But then there are a few things. The same happened with computers also. I'll tell you a very slightly different story that happened to me once. I was in London and it was a Sunday. I came to a station and I found that the escalators were not working. Maybe they were, it was a cost cutting measure or something. And then there were two escalators. On one escalator, I was going down, uh, I mean, step by step, because the escalator was not working. And the other side, there was escalator to come up. Okay, even that was not working. And I could see from my side to that side that a person, supposed to be father of a kid, 10-year-old kid, 10 to 12-year-old kid, the kid was on the lap of the person because the kid never learned how to step one by one and climb stairs. Just imagine, I mean, the irony. So, this is, so technology is for mankind, but sometimes it could be detrimental where a person doesn't even know 2 minus 2 is what, they can't say. They will need a calculator for that. Of course, we don't want technology to be so detrimental to mankind. But at the same time, we have to understand that escalators are good, especially for travelers coming from foreign countries with a heavy suitcase. If there's an escalator, they don't need to hold the suitcase, heavy suitcase, and climb stairs. So they are good. For old people who have heart problems or even otherwise, who cannot even walk properly, for them, escalators are good. So it is not the fault of escalator. It is the fault of how it is used.
Yes.
And what did we learn from it? Same is the case with AI. Now, today's many colleges, faculty, they curse AI because students submit their assignments
That's
totally based on AI.
right. True.
We have changed it. We don't give marks for submission of assignments. We have made it mandatory to submit the assignment, but no marks is given for that. Marks are given for presentations. But if you are present,
Yeah.
you are not allowed to present unless you submit the assignment.
Okay. Right.
So these are steps that we have also taken because we learned from the system. But earlier it used to be 50-50. 50%
Mm.
marks on assignment submission, 50% marks on presentation. But now we
Correct.
have changed the structure because we know that if we give marks on the presentation, it is not the student who is working, it is AI.
Correct.
So how do we adopt AI? Or for example, there are classes that we are taking, okay, and we position a difficult problem in the class. So we ask students, please open your laptops and go through AI and tell us what is the best solution. What do you think? Use your mind along with AI and tell us what is the best solution. So students are thrilled that, oh my God, this professor is asking us to take AI help in the class and then respond to us what is the right answer. So, technology is for mankind. We have to decide whether cow will move the tail or tail will move the cow.
Correct. Yes. Any piece of advice that you would want to give students as they prepare for their academic and professional journey?
Nothing much, but then only one thing which is there, which comes to my mind always is uh, be yourself, don't fake. Because the people who interview you are supposed to be wiser than you. So, so if you think that, in fact, one of my favorite statement is only fools consider others fools. The intelligent person always considers the other person to be more intelligent than him, so that he's better prepared.
Okay, that's very insightful. Thank you so much. That was interesting to
Thank-
listen to some of your viewpoints. Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
the
Thank
interview
you so much.
today.
God
Yes.
bless you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Bye.
much, sir. Thank you.